So what do you think if like we add this to the program? What are you doing?
Salt. I love salt.
Gio, that's enough.
What? Is it gonna make me fat or something?
Well, let's look at the data. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Diaries of the Drunken Dumbells with Di and my sidekick, Gio.
For the past few decades, sodium
Or salt
has gained bad reputation and has been linked to high blood pressure, heart disease, and stomach cancer.
It's one of the most debatable topics in dietary nutrition, and it's no wonder we get asked about it a lot by our clients.
Especially where weight loss is concerned.
Excuse me, should I cut down on my salt to lose weight?
Gio, you got this, or should I?
I'll take care of it. In today's episode, we're going to break down what sodium is and the effects it has on our bodies.
The words salt and sodium are often used interchangeably.
But they are not the same.
However, sodium is the main ingredient in salt.
Ordinary table salt is 40% sodium and 60% chloride.
Sodium is an essential mineral for the human body. It helps to control the amount of fluids in our body so that we don't become dehydrated.
We also need it for our brains and our muscles to work the right way. Nowadays, salt is widely available, so we take it for granted.
But in ancient times, there were wars that were fought over salt, and wages were even paid with salt.
The word salary actually comes from Roman soldiers being paid in salt.
This should give you a pretty big clue of how important it is. Roman soldier, for your bravery and valor. The U.S. dietary guidelines for daily sodium intake is about 2,300 milligrams per day, which is only about a teaspoon of salt.
However, athletes or those who sweat excessively should be cautious of those guidelines because everyone loses sodium at different rates.
Some athletes have been known to lose up to 2,000 milligrams per liter of sweat, but most of you are not athletes and are taking in like 3,400 milligrams.
Researchers have begun to explore salt's role in hunger and weight gain.
A recent study with astronauts showed that as they took in more salt, they actually became hungrier.
And other studies show that high salt diets are linked to obesity in children.
Studies on mice that ate high salt diets showed that their livers produced a substance called urea,
which helps keep the body's water in balance.
Some researchers believe that urea takes up a lot of energy to produce and therefore causes you to be more hungry.
It is a fact that when you consume sodium, that it causes temporary boost in blood pressure.
But according to meta-analysis, which examines all the best research, concluded that the evidence available is weak.
We still don't know if low salt diets improve or worsen health outcomes.
And more research on reduced salt intake is required.
With all this conflicting data, how much salt do we actually need?
Researchers agree that keeping your intake to about 2,300 milligrams a day works well for most people.
About 80% of the sodium you eat comes from processed foods.
So the easiest way to cut back on salt is to avoid these and also restaurant meals as much as possible.
You can avoid any potential harms just by preparing more food at home.
And when you prepare your food at home, you really don't have to worry too much about your salt intake. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Diaries of the Drunken Dumbells.
With Di, with Gio, and Di.
This is what happens when you eat too much salt. You see? Be careful, kids, at home. Look at this. Ooh.